395 days ago, I left Boston and moved to California to play poker. For the last year or so, I've called Bay 101 my home casino. I made over $150,000 there playing 10-20. Made a bunch of really stupid mistakes, learned a bunch, but today is the day I leave. And I'm moving to New York City to play a mix of private games and online poker. Let's see how it goes. You might be wondering, where did this come from? Why are you leaving California? There's consistent 10-20 action. The weather's great. The games are good. To be honest with you, I just haven't really felt like myself for the last 6 months or so. You kind of just wake up, go to the casino, maybe work out. Then I'd go back to my room because I don't really know anyone in California. Just hang out by myself, go on my phone a lot, repeat. And honestly, the only times I was looking forward to was just going out and drinking, which is obviously doesn't feel great to say, but drinking was objectively just the only time I was having fun. I felt like, even if I'd wake up and feel like shit the next day, I'd still just go and do it again. And I was kind of man, this just feels like I'm wasting my 20s. I was just moving from one day to the next, kind of just on autopilot, and didn't really feel like I just feel like I was living to go out and not enjoying my day to day, which just feels like a really big waste of life. And that's not me complaining. I love poker, love what it's given me opportunity to do, but I'm just not really happy with myself as a person or where my life is going or where the trajectory of it is. So decided to make a change, going to New York. Sorry, I know this isn't really typical to put in a poker vlog. I feel kind of weird talking about it, but yeah, it doesn't really make sense why I'm leaving California without giving any explanation. So that's it. And without further ado, this is the New York chapter. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope you guys enjoy. Peace. Our first stop in New York City is a private game that I've actually played in a few times. I've been told it's a 5-10, but good luck us. Alright, in this first hand we're playing some 25-50, about 10k effective, and I look down at ace-king off under the gun. I open to $150. The button, who I presume is a recreational player, makes the call, and the small blind, who's a professional, comes along as well. We go to a flop of queen 10-5 with 2 clubs, so we flop a gut shot, 2 overs to a queen, backdoor flush draw. We have a lot of stuff going on with our hand. Checks to me, and I decide to put in a small bet. Could check, could bet, don't think it makes a huge deal. I bet $150, the button calls, and the small blind folds. At this point, the button can just have a lot of hands. Given that I bet small and he's in position, I just expect him to float pretty wide, so there's not that much point in doing too much analysis at this point. Going to a turn 9 of spades, which brings in jack 8 and king jack for a straight, and also just potentially gives him some 2-pair with hands like 10-9, queen 9, that kind of thing. I decided to use a big bet here. I go $1,000, basically just targeting his 10x, trying to put it in a tough spot, but I'm actually not a huge fan of my size. I always expect him to just call jack x or any pair plus jack x or a flush draw, and I'm basically always going to give up my hand on the river, just because having the king of clubs is just kind of a horrible card to have, because I really want him to have hands like king 8 of clubs, king 7, king 6, all these flush draws that are going to fold the river. And then when I had the king of clubs, just makes it less likely that he has those and more likely that he has a good hand that's going to call the river and not fold. Honestly, versus a player that I'm planning on giving up the river against, I'd rather just either check or go in omega size to just generate the max fold equity on the turn. This middle size is just kind of not my favorite, where I'm not even sure if he's folding a hand like ace 10 or 10-8 or something like that. So it kind of just leaves me in no man's land on the river. So I go $1,000. I'm not a huge fan, but he ends up making the fold. So we win this pot. Honestly, not a fan of how I played it, just exploitatively. But on to the next. All right, in a rare moment of clear thinking, I decided to leave that 25-50 game where I was 10k effective and move to a 5-10 game. Still super deep, but smaller blinds. So I moved to the 5-10 table, and I look around the table. I have 7k, another guy has 6k, another guy has 8k. So we are still quite deep, multiple hundred big blinds. And in this hand, I look down at a7 suited in the cutoff. We see a limp from the hijack, and I bump it up to $50. The button makes the call, and the small blind now squeezes to $275. It's back to me. I make the call, and the button folds, so we're going heads up to a flop of 5-10-9 rainbow. But we do have a backdoor flush draw, 1 over, backdoor straight draw. We got some opportunities. He puts in a small bet of $250, and I think folding this hand would be a mistake. We just have too much equity. We're getting a good price. We don't have to win this hand very often to continue here for this size, so I make the call. See a turn 8 of clubs now, so we turn open-ended, and pretty scary card for him. I expect him to check a lot. I'm gonna have a lot of pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket 10s. My range is gonna be very concentrated around that region of hands. I'll have suited hands that connect with this
this card. Just, he's in pretty bad shape, I would say, in general with his range on this turn. So expecting him to check a lot, and he does check. Now, my plan here basically is just to absolutely pile in money and try and make him as uncomfortable as possible when he has a hand like aces, kings, queens, ace 10, queen 10, basically just any one pair hand. I think I'll probably make him be able to fold if I just shovel all the money in. And yeah, it's not that easy for me to just have a million bluffs here. So I bet around 3/4 pot for $800, and he makes the call, hoping for some help on the river because I don't mind bluffing this spot, but I'd rather just have it when I'm jamming for 5.6k. And we see a beautiful river jack of hearts, so help is what we get, rivering the low end of the straight, except he now decides to donk jam for $5,000. Yikes. It's a little less than 2x pot. I'm sitting here with the low end of the straight, thinking what hands does it make sense for him to have? Turn was rainbow. Don't think he's check calling a hand like naked king queen. He could just have some ace queen that got sticky on the turn. He could have queen jack that decided to trap and is now donk jamming. And the bluffs aren't exactly intuitive to me. I think you'd have to be bluffing a hand like ace jack, king jack, ace 10, king 10, something like that. But yeah, it's a really big bet. I don't have to call very often. The spot seems horrifically under bluffed, and I'm just gonna have queen high straight a decent amount here. I don't think I have to call that much more than that facing a bet this big. So I decided to fold my hand, and we get shown the bad news. He decided to turn ace jack into a bluff like an absolute psychopath, and we lose this pot. What the fuck? That was a crazy line from him. Honestly, respect, I guess. I don't know. Fucking psycho. Anyway, nice hand. Alright, it's a little bit later in the night, and the player from the ace 7 suited hand who donk jammed has been going absolutely off the rails. This game isn't very big for him apparently, and he's just not even looking at his hands half the time before raising, 3-betting, 4-betting. The guy's just absolutely getting after it. Basically, it's like playing blind. I don't know if the whole table realized it, but I was paying attention to look if he was looking at his hands, and he just wasn't a lot. So this hand, I look down at jack 9 suited in the hijack, low jack limps for $10. I bump it up to 50, cutoff calls, and now the button, the player who's not looking at his hands, bumps it up to 225. It folds back to me, and against a range of any two cards, jack 9 suited is just ahead. So I decided to put in the 4-bet to $800, and unfortunately he makes a call. Would have been nice to just take it down pre, but he looks at his cards now and makes the call. So we're going to a flop against what I'm assuming is an extremely wide continuing range, and we see a flop of 6-4-6 with 2 clubs. So I pop a flush draw with 2 overs to the board, and I think just in general, I'm going to be doing a lot of betting. His range is going to be extremely wide. He's going to have a lot of difficulty just facing aggression. He's going to have like king 3 suited, king 9 suited, king 9 off, maybe king 10 off, ace 5 off. Who knows what he has, but I assume it's going to be extremely wide, and it's just going to be really difficult for him to defend over multiple streets of aggression with a range that wide. So I put in a bet of $500, around 40% pot, and he makes the call. Not loving life. We are around 5k effective, so pretty deep. Going to a turn now with 2.7k in the middle, and it's a turn king of spades. I think there's a few things you can do here. I could just decide to jam my hand. The only thing is I don't expect this player to just ever fold a pair if he has one, which I think in theory I need him to be folding a pair sometimes for shoving our hand to be good. And the other thing I could do is bet a smaller size, just targeting the dust that floated us on the flop, hoping that it'll just fold the turn. And I think I like the second option more. I don't really have that much clarity into how he'll respond to shove, and I think small bet is just going to perform fine here. So I decided to barrel the turn for $1,000, around 40% pot, and much to my dismay, he now shoves for $3,600 total, which is 2.6k on top of my bet. And then he asks,
how's your flush draw?
Jack high.
I tell him I have jack high clubs. And this guy's just having fun, having a good time. And he says, me too, and he rolls over queen 7 of spades. For the spade flush draw, queen high, which is technically ahead of my hand right now. He has queen high, I have jack high. Now I have to start doing math, and I cannot for the life of me do the math in game, but I work out that I believe I'm just priced into call. I flick in the extra 2.6k to win basically $10,000. need roughly 26% equity to make this call. And I looked at it after and I was priced in, thankfully. So it is a profitable call. It's extremely close though. Couldn't really figure it out in game, but he asked me once or twice. I just want to go once. I don't know. I'm just gambling and I just want to get this hand over with. We see a river, 7 of diamonds, so we don't get there. And we lose this $10,000 pot. Somehow I ended up playing a $10,000 pot with Jack High where I stuck it in on the turn, but here we are. What the fuck? All right, guys, just left the game. It's about 1 a.m. right now. Lost like 5.5K. Game was 25.50 at the end, so it was pretty big. So not really a crazy result. Not the best start to the new year, but we're in New York, playing poker for a living. Can't complain too much. I'll catch you guys at some point in the vlog. Peace. All right, guys, pretty long day. Not the best session, to be honest. I ended up like breaking even on MGM and losing on WSOP, so I'm like down like 2K since I got here. More so just frustrating because I'm like not struggling to take it seriously, I guess. And I don't know, just online there's just like way more spots that you're constantly in, and the days feel a lot tougher because how fast they come at you. So I'm reviewing right now all the hands I played versus recreational players, and I'm sending them to my coach. He's looking at them. That's honestly super helpful to me, just like being able to talk with someone about hands. It's like I'm just like looking at somebody's hands where I'm like, man, I don't even know what to do. Like, let's see one where ISO King 10. This guy calls after he limps button. C bets on the flop. He calls turn. I think they're just gonna way over bluff. Check. He bets 2/3. I call just because I have so many gutters and under pairs and random shit like that. Whenever I check and he goes all in, and yeah, he just has king queen. But I was like, man, am I crazy for playing my hand like this? I think it's normal. But I sent it to Connor and he was like, okay, yeah, but this hand's well played, which obviously helps. But then there's some other spots where I already know what's going on, and Connor's like able to help me with them. So yeah, I mean, getting coaching is just so nice.
Oh, what a day.
After moved to New Jersey to play online poker. 2 hours later, the computer breaks. Then I fly you out here to film me, and this thing breaks. The light would be like slow blinking, and it wouldn't come up with a display. I like tried removing the RAM, and I couldn't get the graphics card out.
Actually, I have a desktop upstairs. I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
I'm gonna figure it out. So I need your number, and I will call you back. Alright?
Okay.
Alright, I will let you know until tonight. Alright?
So you want me to put it?
No, I can work.
Sure?
Yeah.
Thanks for that's the power cord for it. So got to New Jersey 2 days ago. Tyler just flew out here to film me. So far this trip, I've lost $3,000 playing online. My computer broke, and we haven't filmed anything except us getting halal food and the insane PC store interaction. So I don't know how we defined the start to this trip, but tomorrow, home game with Hoodie Allen. I'll film my hands. Tyler probably not gonna be able to come into the game, and hopefully we can turn this shit around. This has been the worst fucking start to the year possible, but hopefully I can start playing online again soon, because my computer is just fried and the Wi-Fi at this fucking Airbnb/apartment doesn't work at all. I feel useless, man. 3 cigarettes this morning when I was sober because I was so stressed out after yelling at ChatGPT for fucking 3 hours when my computer was broken. So fucked. Go randomly. It's like hard to explain to people what I'm doing for a living out here. I'm like, I fucking create retarded reels and I play poker. I made a lot of money last year, kind of, but then I also lost a lot in November, and then, oh my god, I'm out of breath. And then desk setup used to be here. Plant on the stove. So I went grocery shopping yesterday, so the fridge is nice and full. A lot of food in there. Dude, there's no way I can ever get a girlfriend. Like, who the fuck would tolerate living with someone who like allows themselves to live like this? I don't even know if you want to call this a fucking setup, whatever this thing is. Oh, Tyler's bedroom. Yeah. This is where I'm sleeping currently with heaters pointed at me, and then fucking all my clothes are somehow dirty after 2 days. It's fucked. Did you fix it?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
It's working fine.
Alright, sweet. See you, man. Thanks, you too. Just paid this guy $127 to breathe on my computer. So retarded. Got the computer fixed. I've been studying more the last few months than any period in my life. I recently joined a poker coaching group as a student. This is a group of like 20 guys in the US playing mid-stakes plus live cash for a living, pretty much. We have like 2 group sessions a week. One of the sessions we cover theory, the other session we do a study hall with hand review usually, and it's just led by some of the best regs in North America. I feel like I'm improving pretty rapidly, and I'm pretty confident my results are going to start to turn if I put in enough volume. With that being said, if you're interested in joining the group, put a link in my bio to apply if you're winning live cash player and it sounds interesting to you. Just shoot an application and they'll get back to you for an interview if they think you're a good fit. But yeah, anyway, back to the video. Playing a 10-20 private game tonight. $10,000 buy-in. It's like 2K to 10K, I think, cap. I don't know any of the guys that are going to be there, but it should be a fun game. See how it goes. I'm going to film on my hands, obviously, and I'll see you guys there. Yo, what up, dude? Nice to meet you, man.
How's it going?
How long have you been playing this game for?
I started playing this game the beginning of last year.
Okay.
Everyone is super nice. It's like literally a very home game feel.
Yeah.
Like no one who plays for a living.
Okay.
At all. Everyone's just like a hedge fund guy.
Yeah.
Real estate guy.
And you're home, on the phone, all alone, I give it to you, no interruption. In your house, on the couch.
We're playing 10-25 and are about 2,500 effective with most of the table. It's not very deep to start the night, but it definitely got deeper as the night progressed. And I look down at Jack 6 suited in the cutoff. This is like the second hand I've played. And I'm getting the feeling that the guy in this hand is a more splashy player, doesn't like to fold a lot. So I put Jack 6 suited in the cutoff to $75. The buttons and small blind both fold and the big blind makes the call. And we're going to a flop with $160 in the middle. The flop is ace 10 8 rainbow. He checks. And, you know, he's going to be wide. Hard to continue enough to see bets when you have too many hands, so I'm just going to be betting a lot. And I choose a small size of $50, and he makes the call. I see a turn king of clubs. He checks, and I decide I'm going to barrel my hand. I have a gutter. He's just still going to have a lot of dust. Not much else to say besides trying to make him fold, and I'm happy to jam the river to really try and make him fold if he doesn't raise my turn bet. Bet $175, around 60-ish% pot, and he makes the call. After he calls a turn, I think you'll have just a lot of offsuit ace-x, maybe some jack 10, king jack, jack 8, these pair plus gut shot type hands, 8-9, I don't know. Just pairs. I think he would have fast played a lot of his value on the turn, facing only 60% pot bet. So going to a river with $610 in the middle, and the river is the 3 of spades. Massive brick. He has around $1,200 behind, so it's around 2x pot remaining. And I think that pre-flop, you know, in theory, hands like ace 7 off, ace 6 off, ace 4 off, ace 3 off, ace deuce off should be folding. But I have the inkling that this player would have called all of those pre, which makes his folding region on the river wider than it should be in theory, given I expect him to fold all those ace-x offsuit hands facing a 2x pot shove, as well as all the pair plus gut shot. So I decide to jam my hand for $1,200, around 2 times the size of the pot, and he absolutely snaps my penis off and shows us queen jack for the nuts. Turn read bad. He had the nuts. He didn't raise. Just lit money on fire. I think my hand is still fine. Yeah, I mean, I just bluffed it off, so things have not been going well lately. We lose this $3,000 pot to start the night, and I add on for more money. Okay, in this next hand, after absolutely dusting it off, we look down at pocket queens in the big blind. We see a limp in the low jack, a limp in the high jack. The cutoff also limps, and it folds to me, and I decide to squeeze it up to $250 here. The low jack folds and the high jack calls and the cutoff folds. So we're going heads up to a flop against the same queen jack player who caught me bluffing earlier. And we go to a flop of 9-7-4 with 2 clubs. There's around $560 in the middle. My hand is good enough to play for stacks in my opinion here. So I'm going to start off with a bigger bet. My hand just wants protection, gets called by worse, etc, etc. I would definitely play different parts of my range differently here. If I was bluffing, I would likely go smaller, just targeting his air. But when I have a good hand, I'm just going to go big versus a more fun player. So I bet $300 and he makes the call. Now we go to a turn 6 of spades. So now any 8x hand is open-ended. 5x hands are also open-ended. I'm just going to keep piling money in. I got the best hand the majority of the time here, and I'm just planning on shoving most brick rivers, barring a couple. So I bet $1,000 into 1100. The hijack makes the call. And we see probably the least bricky river in the deck. With around 3k in the middle, the 8 of clubs rolls off. So now any 5 is a straight, any 10 is a straight, and the flush draw comes in. I'm like really looking for an excuse to bet my hand here, but I simply cannot find any reason why I should put more money into this pot in game. Doesn't make sense to bet our hand like ever here. So I check, absolutely praying he checks back. We still do beat quite a few hands given how wide I expect him to be pre-flop. Like he'll have ace 9 off, ace 7 off, ace 4 suited. The question is whether or not he decides to jam them on the river and what I'm gonna do if I face a jam. We show our hand and we're good, and he is not happy, I guess, that he decided not to bluff the river. So we scoop this 3.1k pot. God bless. Thank you for not bluffing the river, sir. In this next hand, we're playing 10-25 still. We see an under the gun open to $50. The hijack makes the call, the button makes the call, and it folds to me in the big blind. In theory, this hand probably just doesn't squeeze very often when we're this deep, doesn't like play that well out of position deep. But given I expect to be under 4-bet and players to call with worse hands than ace-jack in this game, I decided to squeeze it up to $300. The under the gun player folds, the hijack makes the call, and the button makes the call. The hijack is the same player who caught me bluffing earlier, and the button is just another fun player. And we go to a flop of jack 6-6 3 ways here with around $960 in the middle. So I flop top on a fairly dry board. I don't think there's any reason to go massive here. We have an SPR of about 3 with both players here, meaning it's just not going to be that hard to get the money in over the flop, turn, and river. So I don't think I need to start using huge bets here. Plus, I just kind of want them to flow with hands that are drawing dead, like ace queen, ace 10, that kind of thing. So I go for a small bet of $325 into 960. Only the hijack makes the call and the button folds. We see a turn 7 of hearts now, bringing in a backdoor flush draw, and 8-9 for an open-ender, 4-5 if he floated, that kind of thing. 9-10's a gutter now. Brings in some backdoor stuff that he could have floated the flop with. I think mostly his range is going to be pocket pairs, maybe some ace high, things like that. So I decided to put more money in. I bet $1,300, setting up a river SPR that I would rather shoot myself in a painful part of my body than ever bluff for on the river, and he makes the call. Feeling very good about our hand. I think we're ahead the vast majority of the time here, and we go to river deuce of spades. With around $4,200 in the middle, he has $1,400 behind. I make the mandatory shove, and he calls and says I have quads. Yikes. That is a 7k pot shipped to you, sir. Quads are good. I sigh, muck my hand, and we are in for piles as per usual is the story lately. I don't know, man. Poker is just fucking poker these days. I don't even know. It's just a tough game. Yep, so we lose a 7k pot and I add on for more money. Honestly, like, I need to just nickname myself Reload or something, or more chips. I mean, this shit is getting insane. I'm just the local whale these days. But anyway, nice answer. Calls are good. We lose this pot. Okay, well, I somehow made 3.2k at that game. I don't know. Miracle. If we'd run better, we could have won a lot of money. But always take a 3.2k win, and on to the next one.
We're about to play a 5-10-25 private game. Supposedly 5k cap. I have a feeling it's not going to be super enforced. I know some of the guys in the lineup aren't afraid of playing big, so I don't know. Game could get kind of out of line. Squid Game's probably going to be on. 7 deuce. 10 models? All games, which make variance kind of insane, so I don't know. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we win a lot, and hopefully we don't dust like 30k today. That would fucking suck.
All right, the hands we're about to go over are quite possibly some of the most immature hands I've played, worst hands I've played, most tilted hands I've played. I'm gonna have to move back home soon enough if I don't turn things around. So I'm really hoping that doesn't happen, but without further ado, let's jump into this absolute disaster session of a private home game that I played in Brooklyn. Yippee. Okay, we're playing some 5-10-25 to start the night. Does not stay at that stake for long, but during this hand, that's what we were playing. We see an under the gun limp and ISO king 10 suited in the low jack, $225. The hijack makes the call, the cutoff makes the call, the big blind makes the call, and the under the gun player makes the call. So going 5 ways to a flop now of queen, queen, 5, rainbow with 1 spade. Checks to me. I bet $200. on the smaller side, and the cutoff player makes the call and all the other players fold. So going heads up to a turn with around $1,000 in the middle, and it's a turn 9 of hearts. That's one of these cards that I think I can barrel on fairly frequently, put pressure on his lower pocket pairs, 5x, things like that. So I bet $700 just targeting that region. Honestly, like, I don't really care if he calls those hands on the turn because I am going to bluff most rivers with my hand, just hoping I'm not running into Queen X because I think I can make most of those other hands just fold. So I bet $700 and he makes the call. Going to a river now with $2,400 in the middle, and it's the river 10 of diamonds. Given my logic on the turn that I think I can apply a lot of pressure to those hands on the river, those low pocket pair regions, or just like those one pair 5x hands, I'm not going to go massive when I have a value hand. In fact, I'm going to go quite small because I think those hands are not going to be difficult to make fold. So I bet $300, which honestly is a little too small. I think I should be betting something like $600, like a quarter pot. This is just a bit too small. It's like 15% pot, but he makes the call and he sighs when we show our hand, and he shows us 5-3 of hearts. So he turned a backdoor flush draw with his 5x. Not complaining. We win this $3,000 pot. I think my logic was fine. Maybe a little bit spewy starting from the flop, but like I was gonna bluff the river, so I think it's fine. We got there. Okay, in this next hand, we are playing 5, 10, 25, 50, 100. So quite a few straddles on at this point. I have around 7.7k in my stack. And we're also playing the squid game with a mediocre-ish penalty. I think each player owed everyone else $200 if you lost. We're also playing the 7 deuce game. So if you win a hand with 7 deuce, everyone pays you $100. Folds to me in the hijack, and I open to $500, 5x size. Why the fuck am I raising to $500 with 7 deuce suit in a game that's too big for me? That's the overarching problem with this hand. Small blind calls, and we're going heads up to a flop of Jack 9 for rainbow. Checks to me, and I start off with a small bet of $400, around a third pot, and he makes the call. Going to a turn now, which is the Queen of Clubs, and there's around $2,000 in the middle, and my tilted ass decides, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna put all the money in with 7 deuce on any run out, because why the fuck not? Like, honestly, guys, like, I wish I could have a better analysis of this hand, like, why I decided to do this. It's just one of those things where you black out in game and you're kind of just like, yeah, I'm just gonna try and like make this guy fold. Like, that's literally all that I was thinking. And it's so much money. So I bet $1,500 and he makes the call. I do think at this point he's gonna have some Jack 10, 9, 10, Queen 10 type hands that I could potentially make fold by the river. Am I excited about trying to do that? Absolutely not. There's around $5,000 in the middle now after he makes the call on the turn, and we see river 4 of clubs pairing the board. He checks, and I stick to my plan and jam for 5.3k into 5k. Stick to my plan. And he starts tanking, and he says, I feel like you have 7 deuce. Holy God, that is not something you want to actually hear when you are sitting there with 7 high. And generally, when someone says, I feel like you have 7 deuce, they are not planning on folding either. Well, he doesn't fold. He makes the call and shows us Queen 10 of hearts. He scoops this 15.6k pot. Like, dude. That is so much money. Like, I'm not rolled for this game at all. Like, it is just, guys, I mean, I'm just showing you these hands because, like, fuck it, I played them, I recorded them, I might as well make content out of it, but, like, yeah, he wins this 15k pot. That's a lot of money. Good for you. Okay, in this hand, we're around 8k effective, playing 5, 10, 25, 50. The low jack opens to $150, and I look down at aces in the cutoff, and I was like, please, Lord, let me get a little bit unstuck here. Please. I think I was in for 25k at this point, so down 10k, maybe more, I don't really remember, but I was down quite a bit, and I bump it up to $600 in the cutoff with aces, and the small blind now puts in the cold 4 bet to $1,700. The big blind folds, and it folds all the way back to the low jack player, who also folds. It's back on me now. This player started the hand with around 8k, and he's put in $1,700. He was not very active pre-flop. In theory, you could definitely just flat my hand most of the time, so I shove for his remaining 6.3k, and he snaps and tells us he has pocket queens. We decide to run it twice. And I scoop both boards thank God, and we scoop this 16.2k pot, get a little bit unstuck there. GG's, we won that hand, thankfully. But let's see how these next hands go. We're playing 5, 10, 25, 50 in this next hand, and the cutoff opens to $150. I look down at ace 10 off in the small blind. Normally you could just fold this hand. This game is playing so much wider than any equilibrium that it kind of goes out the window, to be honest. Like, you're just going to be deviating super hard pre-flop. Ace 10 off is extremely strong for this configuration of the cutoff open. He's probably opening like 6-4 off. Wouldn't be surprised. I put in the 3-bet to $800, and the cutoff makes the call. Going to a flop of ace 10-4 with 2 spades, and I have around 4.4k behind. There's $1,700 in the middle. I flop top 2. I start out with a small bet of $400, and he makes the call. I go $400. I could bet bigger, but we have an SPR of less than 2 on the turn, so it's not going to be hard to get all the money in, so I went with a small size on the flop. We see a turn 9 of spades now, bringing in a flush draw. Honestly, like, you could start checking my hand in theory. In practice, I think my hand is just the absolute nuts here. I'm literally never trying to make this guy fold an ace or a 10 ever, with the stand-up game in effect, me still being standing, and there's just not being that much money for him. So I bet $1,000 into 2,400, and he makes the call. Going to river with 4.5k in the middle, and it's the river queen of clubs. Obviously not the prettiest river in the deck, but like I said, I'm just going with my hand. I shove for $3,000 into 4,500, and he beats me into the pot, which is not good at all. I thought he had a flush or a straight or something for sure when he snapped that fast, but he rolls over ace queen off. So we river 2 pair. I think we would have won, but we lose a 10.5k pot. I'm in for like 30k at this point. I have so much of my roll on the table at this point. I was like angry, red ear tilted, and like trying to keep it in internally, and like so frustrated. And I was like, why the fuck am I playing right now? But I was like too stuck and tilted to leave because I wanted to get my money back, which is obviously like horrible thinking. But like, yeah, I'm really showing you guys the side of me that I'm just not proud of. This is one of the last hands I decided to play before leaving the game because I was just realized I need to get out of here. I at least came to my senses a little bit. I have around 25k at this point. I think I was into the game for 28 or 29k. So I was only down like 4k. I got most of my money back and I wasn't as tilted. But we see pocket kings in the small blind now. It folds to me and I open to $400, so 4x, and the $100 straddle makes the call, who has me covered. He has like 50k and I have 25k. We go to a flop of 10-7-5, all spades. I do have the king of spades. The player we're up against is a reg, definitely on the looser side. Definitely not scared of putting money in, but he's like thinking he's not just gonna absolutely dust it. So that's the kind of player we're against. I bet $250 and he makes the call. Feeling good about our hand, and we see the turn 9 of hearts. I think you can play big bets or small bets on the turn here. I decided to go for a bet of $500, like 40% pot size. I decide I'm gonna play. It lets me bet over pairs, and he now raises to $3,000. So a 6x raise in position. At this point, I think he's saying he has a set or a flush that check back the flop, maybe even some 2-pair. He might just be reading into my size, but never folding. I have the king of spades in my hand, can still improve to beat his flushes, can still improve to beat his sets, so I make the call. Going to a river with 7.3k in the middle, and it is the river 10 of diamonds pairing the board. I check, and now he bets $12,000 into 7.4k. His line doesn't make a ton of sense. He's saying he raised, set on the turn, which he could, and now has a full house, or he's just saying he has a flush and I don't give a fuck. I don't think you have a better hand than a flush. I'm gonna bet really big. Honestly, maybe I call if I'm rolled for this game, but I literally said it after the hand. That was just too much money. I wasn't comfortable calling. This game's too big. I folded, and he windmills pocket 2s for the bluff. I decided to leave right after this hand because I was like, man, if I can't even like consider making a call because the money's too scary, I just need to get the fuck out. Embarrassing to say that out loud, but like, because I should never been playing the game, but yeah, at least I made the decision to leave. I ended up losing a few more K after this hand, and then I lost 22k on the night. I hope you guys enjoyed watching these hands, but holy Christ. I've been locked in for the last couple weeks now, not playing private games anymore, just studying, trying to get my feet back under me online. It hasn't been easy the last few months, so I won't lie to you. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life. I'm in a random apartment in Hoboken, New Jersey, trying to make poker work. And I've lost like 80 G's, so basically like half my roll. I torched a lot of it. Oh, boys. I did not play well today. I violated every rule that I said I was going to follow to start the year, which was well, I don't really know what they were, but it was don't drink while I was playing, which I violated very quickly. So I don't really know how much that actually affected me tonight, except I probably didn't need to launch 7 deuce in for like 8K at the beginning of the session. Man, I could not make a good decision. Got my fucking cock bluffed off and a massive, like a 20-something K pot. That would have been like a 30-something K pot if I called. Just couldn't bluff catch correctly. I just played so bad today. I wasn't even paying attention. I'm just being such a fucking immature piece of shit these days. I'm like probably 90K downswing at this point. And yeah, I feel like a fish every single time I play. So that's basically where my mental state is right now. What am I gonna do now is probably go smoke 100 cigarettes and drink myself into the abyss, and then yeah, didn't feel good sending that much crypto to someone after the session today, to say the least. We lost 23K today, which honestly for the size of the game isn't insane, but like, dude, I just played like a fucking retard, so sue me. Who knows how this YouTube channel is gonna end at this point, because these days are getting dire, bro. Dire streets out here, bro. Dire, dire streets. Let's go to a bar.
Yeah. Alright, I know I was laughing at the end of that clip there, which I felt weird about watching back, and honestly the reason was I felt so fucking awkward. I flew Tyler out there to film me for a week, and he watched me go out and drink a bunch, play like one home game, then play that home game, drink, lose 20K, have to send the guy crypto, and then I think I was worried that he was worried that I wouldn't be able to pay him, so I just kind of felt awkward about the whole thing, and I was just kind of nervous laughing. So yeah, didn't find it funny. I mean, it's pretty clear that I have a problem with playing and drinking, so my goals for 26 are no more playing and drinking and make 200K in poker. I really need to turn shit around. Yeah, we got some ground to cover, I'm not gonna lie. But yep, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully better news to report in the next video, and here are the results, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.